Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day to Single Life, Season 5, Episode 6, The Art of Breadcrumbing. So we're just going to get on into it. We're going to get in and get on out of here. The first person I want to talk is, I'm going to talk about Sophie and Pedro. So after last week's whole debacle with the situation with Liz and then the ghosting and everything, Julia sends Pedro a message asking if she wanted to meet up and stuff and everything, and he responded to Julia. Now, Julia's sneaky. On Between the Sheets, Julia revealed that she did not say that Sophie was going to be with her, but Pedro responded to Julia, and Julia set it up so Sophie and Pedro could talk. So Sophie and Pedro talk and everything, and Pedro it was just under the assumption that they were in a committed relationship when they're not, and Sophie's just there to have fun. Pedro said that basically he does realize that maybe he was may gone a tad bit too far, and if she's not fully healed, then okay, and everything. But still, Sophie's still playing her little Sophie little games and everything and stuff. So yeah, Sophie just says she wants to have a good time. So after all of that, they kind of made up a little bit. And then they finally decide to have their first real date since they've been on this trip in the DR. They actually go horseback riding on the beach and everything. Pedro had asked Sophie, have you ever done anything like this? And she's like, most of my romantic nights I just have dinner. I never been horseback riding. So they're horseback riding, and then, then they start acting goofy. He starts looking at her rear end and everything. And then he like basically moons her and everything, and she liked that and whatever. So yeah, just typical goofy stuff. But it was cool to see them have fun. Then they go back, and then they head back to the room, and they finally shared a kiss. They shared multiple kisses and everything. And Sophie is just like, this is the side of Pedro that I like to see, like how it was in the beginning, like fun, just not taking each other seriously and just having a good time. On Between the Sheets, it showed that they were like staying in separate rooms, but then I guess Pedro came back and stayed the night with Sophie. They weren't intimate or anything, but they stayed the night and, had a good time. However, on Between the Sheets, Sophie revealed that Pedro be posting stuff about her like online, like lyrics and stuff, like I'm better off without her and everything. She's saying that she was seeing that like prior to their date and everything, but she still like went on the date with them. So I don't know, it's confusing with that relationship. Yeah, I think that Sophie is just still immature. She really doesn't know what she wants when it comes to relationships and everything. Um, I do think she led Pedro on a little bit, but oh well. But you know what? Next week is when Sophie gets to meet Pedro's sister Nicole. So it's going to be going down next week, and I can't wait to see that. So yeah, so yeah, that was Sophie and Pedro. Next person I want to talk is Vanya. So Vanya is actually goes on a date with that Tony guy, and Tony picks Vanya up in this nice like sports car. I think it was a Lamborghini, really nice sports car and everything. He takes her on a boat ride. Now, in Between the Sheets, we seen Vanya meet up with one of her friends to go shopping for this date and everything, and she expressed her concerns. So they go on this date on the boat ride, and Vanya actually starts kind of interrogating this Tony guy a little bit. Like she asked him, like first she asked him, like, why didn't your marriage like work? And Tony said that because their pathways were just not aligning. She was like basically gone for work a lot. He was doing his thing, and they it just fizzled out, career path wise. And it just became a long distance thing that they didn't want to do anymore, basically. So they divorced and everything. So she says, okay. And then she brings up something that happened. Now, remember, Vanya and Tony have been friends for like a year and a half, 2 years at this point now. And I guess when he was like single, like I guess there was like another girl or an ex or whatever that he hung out with or considered his girlfriend or whatever. But him and Vanya weren't together, but he didn't tell Vanya about it, and so she was questioning him more about that and everything, and he was just like, well, Vanya, you were in a relationship around that time too. And I didn't really say nothing and everything. And then I guess Vanya said on Between the Sheets that she bought she bought Tony a birthday cake or whatever for his birthday, and I guess his ex or whatever, the girl he was seeing at that time, was eating it and stuff, and she didn't know anything about it. I mean, friends tell each other everything, but if they're not in a if you guys are not in a committed relationship or anything, then like you really don't owe anybody anything. But if they're like quote unquote best friends and friends for a while at that point, then yeah, maybe he should have told her about this girl and everything. So he said that was all the past, and then it just led to him asking Vanya to be his girlfriend. And of course, Vanya's going to say yes, and she did. She says yes, and they share a more passionate kiss, unlike the kiss they shared at the amusement park a few weeks ago and everything. So I just didn't really understand like the whole interrogation thing, like with Vanya, just questioning things like when they weren't together and weren't even talking and stuff and everything. But as we know, Vanya wants to jump in relationship after relationship after relationship. So so she got what she really wanted, but I don't know. She just loves to jump fast. But yeah, congratulations, Vanya and Tony. They're right now a couple. We'll see how long that lasts. So yeah, that was Vanya and Tony. Next couple I want to talk is Courtney and Colt. Disgusting Colt. So we pick up where we left off last week. Now remember what happened last week. Courtney caught Colt sexting that Diane girl, and she kicked him out with the wheelchair, sent him to a hotel and everything. And she came over to the hotel to drop off the rest of his stuff and have one more conversation. In this episode, they're continuing that conversation. Like she told Colt like, "You're a piece of crap and everything. I hate you. We're not together and everything. Like what do you want?" And Colt was just like, "I kind of want you back and everything." But she was just like, yeah, you want me, but you also want her. So like, which one is it? And he just stood there and would not answer. He was just like, you know what? I don't even know what to say at this point because I don't even know if I can walk again. So I just don't even know where I'm at. I have no plan. He said he had no plans at that point to meet Diane, but he just don't know what he's doing and everything. So, Courtney once again starts crying to say that she really loved Colt and everything, and that like that she should have listened to her gut and then all those people telling her to watch out for him. Now, Courtney revealed on Between the Sheets that when she started dating Colt, when he moved in with her to Florida and everything, I guess there were podcasters and everything like reaching out to her saying, if you need help to get out of this, we'll help you and everything. That's crazy. She had podcasters reaching out to her. That's wild and everything. So after their little conversation, Colt's just like, okay, you don't want me, whatever. So he gets on his wheelchair and turns and goes back to his room. And then, Courtney, he starts struggling with it. He had a box in his hand on his wheelchair and stuff and everything. Courtney sees them and she's like, do you need any help? And he was like, no. But then Courtney gets up and goes to wheelchairs him in his bedroom and everything and still helps him. And she gets into the bedroom and she gives him a hug and everything. And everybody was just like, Courtney, please don't go back. Please don't do it, Courtney. Don't do it. He's manipulating you with the struggling that what made you fell for him in the first place. And she was just like, if I stay in this, Colt was like, Courtney, you do got to let me go at this point. And Courtney was just like, if I stay in this room any longer, I'm going to fall right back into him. I got to get out of this room. And we were worried for a second, but Courtney got out of the room and went back home. So I'm really happy that Courtney stood her ground and called him out, told him that he's a piece of crap. And I'm sick of it with Colt. He cannot be in a committed relationship. He does not know how to. He gets bored easily, and that's sad. He needs a lot of help. He really needs like a lot of therapy and just like a lot of help to control himself, because it's ridiculous with him and it's disgusting. Like every time we see Colt on TV, it's just the same thing. Everybody's gonna just keep on getting on to him about how he's a liar and a cheater and everything, and he likes to take pictures of himself and everything. It's just the same story every single time. So he really needs to get it together. But I'm proud of Courtney for not falling back for him this time. So that was Courtney and Colt. And then the last couple we're gonna talk is Gina and Natalie. Oh my goodness. So last time we saw Gina and Natalie, they were at Natalie's friend's potluck dinner or whatever. And Natalie's friend Melanie was said that Gino was talking to other woman online. Now, I said a few weeks ago that Gino is entitled to talk to anybody he can online, because he didn't know he was getting back with Natalie. Now, Gino's not smart enough to remember to say that or anything, but when he was talking to other girls online, he's allowed to. He's single, and he didn't know Natalie was going to reach back out and they were going to start having their thing again. So in this episode, though, Natalie and Gina go to an escape room. It's Gina's last day in Washington, D.C. before he flies back to Michigan, so they have an activity plan to go to an escape room. So they do the escape room. They have to do some combinations at a bar or whatever and everything, and something with the mafia or whatever and everything, and escape the room. Natalie did a better job of escaping the room than Gina did. But they had a good teamwork on that. So after they escaped the room, they had a drink and everything. And then Natalie questioned him. She was like, if Gino really thinks that Melanie didn't tell me that he was talking to other woman, then he's stupid. And we're playing just mouse right now, because like I haven't brought it up and he hasn't brought it up, and so I'm waiting for him to really bring it up. So now that like Gina's like, oh, like I enjoy being with you. I hope like one day we can have a committed relationship. And Natalie was just like, yeah, about that. If we're gonna progress, have you and are you gonna be talking to other women? And Gina just looking like a deer in the headlights and would not answer and beat around the bush. And Natalie got so mad, she rolled her eyes. She's like, you know what? I just want to go home already. Like, so she storms out of the escape room building, and Gina follows like, Natalie, don't go. Like, what did I do? What did I say? And everything. She's like, just stop it. Like, I don't have time to be playing no games here. We're getting older and everything, and I don't want to waste my time. Are you talking to other women online? Yes or no? Just be honest with me for once. And he's like, yes, I've talked to other women, but I never met them or anything. She's like, okay, what do you want from me? And he was like, like to do what we've been doing, like, keep hanging out and see like where it goes and everything. And she asked him like, do you want to, like, if we're still at this standstill, like, do you want to talk to other women and still see me? And he's like, yeah, basically. And she was like, okay, well, I appreciate your honesty. So, and then she left. So basically, I mean, when he said that, when she asked him that, do you want to see me and still talk to other girls and stuff, he should have just been like, I just want to see you. I'll stop talking to other girls. But like I said, he did not know that Natalie was going to be back in the picture when we first started out. And when she reached out to him and then he responded back and everything, and he's like, oh, okay. So I know low-key he does really like Natalie, which I think he really does like Natalie. But I don't think it's fair for him to be judged judged by that, because she's wondering what's going to happen when we go back to our separate ways when we're not together. Yes, you may not be talking to other women when we're together, but what's going to happen when we go our separate ways and everything. So now, judging by the previews of next week, he's going to come back to Natalie at this point is done with him. And she said, like, this whole weekend was a test and he felt miserably. And so next week, he's going to come back and say that he doesn't want to talk to other women. He wants to probably be with her and everything. And we'll see if she accepts it or not. In my opinion, I think she's accepting it for a little bit. And then probably by tell-all time, he is going to mess it up and she's going to break up. Now, speaking of tell-all, I have some news that broke. I'm going to pull out my phone and give it to you guys. Now, most of you guys already know I have not reported on it yet. Now, for 90 Day The Single Life Tell-All, Sean Robinson will not be hosting it, unfortunately. I don't know why, she's not, I don't know what's going on with Sean Robinson. I'm getting really concerned, but she's not hosting the Single Life Tell-All. Instead, what's this guy's name? Let's go on the 90 Day page. Okay. Ross Matthews, Emmy-winning TV host and producer from the Drew Barry Show and a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, is going to be hosting the Single Life Tell-All this season. Everybody's happy about that for some reason. I prefer Sean. I know, like, everybody else is tired of Sean Robinson. I prefer Sean. I love Sean. I said that multiple times on here. But for the Single Life Tell-All, which will premiere on May 18th, May 18th will be the Single Life Tell-All. Yeah, we have a new host. So now I do think for the before the 90 Day Tell-All, we're gonna have Sean for that one. But for the Single Life Tell-All, it's gonna be this Ross Matthew guy and everything. So we'll see how that plays out. And I hear that one cast member doesn't show up at the tell-all, and I hear everybody comes after Gino at the tell-all. So, so yeah, I can't wait to see that. So anyway, guys, that was basically it for this episode. We did not see Kim in this episode or Liz in this episode, but next week is the big one. We're gonna see Kim meet up with her son that she put up for adoption, so that's gonna be big. We're gonna see Pedro and Nicole meet up with Sophie and everything, and it's gonna go down with that. So I can't wait for next week's episode because it's really going down. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please check that you are subscribed and everything. I'll see you guys back next week for Before the 90 Days. Like I said the other day that I will do that Age of Attraction show. I still gotta watch the rest of it, and then I'll get back to you guys with my review on that. So until then, thank you guys, love you guys, and see y'all soon. Bye, y'all.